friends, thanks so much for joining me today. So, I am back from my 2 vacations. I was away in Italy for a little over a week. Then I went to Arizona. Italy, we talked my mother into going. She's 91 years old now, and I am so blessed that she's still with me. I just love her to death, and she's just such a great lady, such a cute little lady. And she is little. She's like, I don't know, 4'9" now. She was never very tall, but she's shrunk a little bit more, right? As we all do with age. And then the second week, I went to Arizona with a dear friend of mine. We celebrated our big birthdays. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you can probably guess. Anyway, we had a fantastic time, a lot of hiking in Arizona. I did things that I probably would never do, but I did it, and I'm happy that I did do it. And I'm so happy that my husband allows me to do all this stuff, right? I keep telling him he needs to work so I could go on vacations, right? Anyway, we are making a fun card. This is my first week back from vacation, and I was in my craft room finally. It took me a little while. Still getting through laundry, as you can imagine. 2.5 weeks away. We'll do that, right? Even though I did laundry while I was away. So much to do. My kitties are happy to see me. My dog was happy to see me. My son and husband, I guess they were happy, right? They should be. Anyway, I am going to get to making this card. You're going to love it because it's easy and it uses lots of scraps. So get those DSP scraps and we'll make a card. This is the card that we'll be making today. And as I said, it uses DSP and just a bunch of scraps. So these are 3/4 inch strips. And really, I mean, you could even like graduate the sizes. Like you could do 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, you could do 1 inch. I mean, you really could do so many different things with this. I think I was very basic. I went in 3/4 inch, and really you just need, each piece needs to be about 6 inches long, I think. And then the shorter pieces are probably about, I would say safely 2.5 inches. You will be trimming it down, so don't worry about that. Don't get hung up over on that. Okay, and then let me put this aside here so I can see it. We are making this in the landscape mode though. All right, so then I'm using phrases and frames. I'm using this wonderful sentiment which says, have a fabulous day, and you could really use that for anything. It could be birthday, it could be like thinking of you, just really anything. And then I'm also using the dies. I'm going to use this particular die here, which I just love the way this looks. So we're going to keep that here. And then the embossing folder I'm using is Forever Plaid. Now, if you notice, this one I did not emboss, and I used the Spotlight on Nature dies, and Cutest Crew is where this just a little hello sentiment came from. So let's put that there. We'll try not to forget to emboss this. I am using Country Wood DSP. This is still available. I don't know if it's in the catalog though. The other specialty paper that I'm using is called Flower Garden Foils. These are no longer available, but I felt that this piece was perfect for that, to die cut the frame image. And I do have a little piece here put aside. All right, so the first things first, because we need to let this dry a little. So let me take these pieces out. And I do have extra pieces in here in case I mess up or need an extra piece. I think I need this piece. Not sure now, but we'll keep it out. Looks like there's 2 pieces. No, there's just 1. Okay. These are just extra pieces, just in case I need them. The other thing I wanted to show you is I have been using my Stampin' Positioner, and I love it. The piece that I love the most, though, is this little arm. I actually use this to do most of my stamping now. I just put the stamps on here. Makes it so easy. Because then I don't have to look around for different sizes, right? So that's what I wanted to show you. I have been using it in my previous videos, but I didn't show you where that little arm came from. And you probably saw the arm and you're like, well, where's that coming from? So that's where it comes from. All right, so let's see what we got here. These are my extra pieces. All right, so first what I want to start doing is, I'm going to put this aside. I don't need that yet. But I do want to put these pieces on here. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, lay them down, see how I like the placement of them. And I am going to be cutting this down. Like, this obviously is too long. Let's see, I think I'm going to put this one next here. And I want to make sure that that's going to hide that, but I'm not too worried about that. So then I think I want, or do I want this one? No, I think this one's coming next here. Yeah. I have this one here. And then I think I was going to put this one here somehow. Yes, I think this is an extra piece. So I'm going to take this piece and let's see, let's measure this piece. I think this is, so let's see, 6 3/4 inches. So I'm going to cut this down to probably 5 1/4 inches, I think. Is that right? Or do I want it 5 inches? I think I want it 5 inches. Yes, 5 inches. And you know what? If it doesn't come out, I have extra pieces, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, so I'm just going to lay this down. I do want to add it to that point there so I can cover that point first. And then this piece is going to come down here like so. And then I can move it around a little bit, see how it's hanging off there. So it'll probably be more like this. Again, if I had cut the first strip a little bit longer, it probably would have been fine. Okay, the next piece we're going to do is here. Okay, so we're going to cut right there. And you know what? I'm not measuring this. I'm just eyeballing it. There's really no right or wrong to this. So this is just under 6 inches. So let's make this one 4 1/2. Okay. And we'll put this here, so, like so. Good, okay. And I'll play with them after. Okay, then this piece is going to go here. I'll probably, I think at this white line over here is where I want to cut it. Right about there. Again, there's really no measurement for this, so even on my PDF, there won't be physical measurements for the the strips. Because you're kind of just going to play with it, and you're going to play with whatever strips you have and just try to make them work, right? No stress. No stress. This piece will probably just cut in half. What is this? 3 1/4. So what is 3 1/4 is 1 and I don't know. We'll just go about there. 1 7/8, I think, is half of 3 1/4. Something like that. So, like so. And then this piece we'll kind of just put here, like so. All right, so let me put this aside. I will need that again. But as I mentioned, I want to glue these down. Now, you could also use just regular adhesive, your seal. I like to use my liquid glue because if I need to, I can move them around a little bit easier, I think anyway. So I'm just going to put these back down over here just to make sure they fit properly. And then I'm going to take off one piece and start gluing that one down. And then the other ones will kind of just fall into place. So but you don't want any white space showing, so that's the key here. So I might have to move this over a little bit because there is a little bit of white space showing between the, you know, at the edge of this lighter colored piece. So I don't want that. But I think these other pieces are fine. So, like so. And then this piece will go up here kind of like that. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, move all these pieces off. This is the first piece I'm going to start with. So what I like to do is, where is my silicone craft mat? I probably should have put that underneath it, just in case we ooze a little. Try my best not to move that one piece. Okay, so we're gonna do that like so. Just put this back over here because I think I did move it quite a bit. Yeah, okay. Let's see. There, I think. Right about there should be good. Okay, so I'm going to remove these pieces again. I'm holding this one down, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to this part. I found it easier to do it this way rather than putting the glue on here, because what happens when you put it on here is then those pieces are going to get cut, and then your scissors or your trimmer is going to end up with some oozing. I might have to put another strip down here, I think, because that's a lot of white space. A little more white space than I wanted. However, yeah, this piece, I am going to do that. I know I just said don't do it that way, but here we go. I'm going to try to go the other way with it. Should have cleaned my silicone craft mat. It was sticky. Okay, we're good. I'm going to flip this over. Huh, the other side's not any better. Okay, so next we're going to put this piece down, add the glue to the white. After I put this fourth piece down, then I'm just going to speed up the video because you don't need to sit and watch me doing all these pieces. Although I guess you watched me doing the harder part, right? The fitting all the pieces together. So it's kind of like a puzzle, I guess, right? I'm trying to fit all those pieces together. All right, so this piece, and then we're going to speed up the video. Oh, look at that. We have just a tiny little piece there. Let's see if we can do something with that. I mean, super tiny, right? Super, super tiny. Except I need to move this over just a tad, like so. And that's what the liquid glue makes so easy to do it that way. All right, so that piece is going to fit right there. All right, we're going to leave this in a second. I just want to hold that down so it doesn't move when I try to cut it. Close up the glue. Maybe not. Yeah, that piece is gonna probably give me a little bit of a problem. I might have to just put a little bit of tape behind it or something. I don't know. We'll see if it holds down. Because it's just so tiny there. You can't even see. Sorry, I was off camera there. Okay, so now you could do this with your trimmer. You could do this with the scissors. I prefer the trimmer because, well, it gives me a straight edge. So I'm going to cut this down to 4 inches, which was the size of my white piece, or thereabout, to trim off some. And we're just going to get rid of these pieces here. And then this is by 5 1/4. Okay. And yes, Andrew.
Okay. Where's like the leaf blower, but it does the opposite thing? The one that's in the mudroom. I can't remember what it's called. Like, you know, like it does the opposite of a leaf blower.
You mean like a vacuum
Thank
cleaner?
you. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the one that was in the mudroom. Where's that?
It's in the family room.
The big thing. I need the smaller one, like this, the handheld.
Oh, I got rid of that.
Okay.
It didn't work anymore.
Okay, I'll use that. Thanks. I can't believe I couldn't remember vacuum.
All right. So, and then this piece here, we'll cut this down also. You know what? Let's just use the scissors for that one. There we go. Okay. And you can't even really tell where that little piece is, but it is up there. All right. Put that down. We're done with this. I'll put that aside. Let me trim this up just a little bit. I've got some jagged edges here. All right, so I'm just going to put this aside right now to dry. However, I did want to get another strip here. So let me see what I can get from here. You know what? Let's get this piece. It's nice and long. I'll use the other side like so. Is that going to work? I think it will. I don't know. We're going to try it. We're going to try it because I feel like there's too much white space here. I don't want that much white space. So let's see. All right, 3/4 of an inch. Okay. And then I'll put that piece down a little bit too. Probably not. I have to go that way, right? I think so. So we're going to go to here. Just going to fold that back a little. Here. We'll go to there. I don't know how this is going to work. All right, let's see if this works. So we're going to put this piece here. And then this piece is going to go here. Oh, that just works, except I do need to hide that over there, I think. Right? You know what I might do? Okay, I think we're just going to go that way. I think we're just going to go with it that way. So let's see. Or should I just do that? The problem is that the way these are going, so let's see, do we like it this way? With this down here? I almost feel like this piece needs to be more narrow in order for it to work correctly. So I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, so this is 3/4. Let's go down to 1/2 an inch on this piece. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this down. See, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to go 1/2 an inch on that one, and then 1/2 an inch on this one. Would have been so much better if I cut them together, right? But oh well. Oh well, we're just going to go with this 1/2 an inch. So hopefully by me making just a little mistake, it avoids you making them. Or have something totally different. All right, you know what? I'm going to save this piece because I might actually use that on the inside. Let's see what the size of this is. Yeah, that could actually go on that. So see, no piece is wasted. Nope. All right, let's get that back again here. So put that there. Actually, let's use the other side though. All right, so let me look and see if this looks good here. So we're going to do that. And this piece will go right there. Yeah, I think that'll work, right? If not, we're going to make it work. And nobody will know that that's not the way it was supposed to go. Right? So we're going to line that up there. And then this piece is going to go right here. Okay. So we'll leave that there. We'll add some glue. Keeping in mind that this is a little smaller. So it's only 1/2 an inch versus the 3/4 of an inch. Okay, like so. All right. Okay, there we go. Looks good, doesn't it? I think it looks great. Okay, so let me trim these pieces. And this one. And then we'll put this to dry while we do some stamping and die cutting. Let me, that's stuck to my finger. Okay, let's put that right there. Get the die cutting machine. So we're going to die cut this piece here. And I need my die from here. And I know I could have done this ahead of time. However, I want to show you what I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to get my piece, my die. I'm going to die cut this there. What is the big piece of glue here? All right, so let's see, we're going to do that. And now because I'm die cutting this, it will flatten some of the plaid on the specialty paper, but that's okay. I'm really not looking to, show too much of that. I just, you know what, I had forgotten that I got the, it's called Silver Luster, I think, or something like that. Specialty paper, so I kind of grabbed this, and then I realized that this was retired, so anyway. So what I'm going to do is, rather than me taking, die cutting this again in the white, I'm just going to flip this over. Yeah, it's not perfectly white, but it's good enough. We'll stamp our sentiment on this rather than doing another one. And if you see me, what I'm doing now is because when I die cut this, it kind of gives it a ridge. So I'm just flattening that ridge. You could do this with your nail. You can do it with a bone folder. You can leave it the way it is. It's up to you. I like to kind of just flatten it out. like so. All right, so that's good. That's good. Now I cannot do the embossing yet because I have to wait for that to dry. So let me set this aside, and we will do some stamping first. Oh, I have the stamp, right? Okay. So one of the things that you'll notice that I did on this stamp set is that I want to do this on all of my new stamps because they're in this new packaging. So I inked up all the stamps. And here, of course, I did one upside down. This should have been right side up. That's why it's upside down here. So then I can see like what's what, which stamp is stamped which. The other thing I did before I adhered the heavier piece of plastic is I drew around all of the stamps so that if one is missing, I know what to look for. So anyway, those are some things that you might want to do, especially with this new packaging, when you get your stamps, is to do that first. The other thing I do, and I've already done it on these, is I use the white eraser, and you've seen me doing this on my shorts, and I just rub it along just to get, because, you know, when you with these stamps, the photopolymer, sometimes it has this film on it. So you can either wipe it on your pants or do it that way. I mean, I've been doing it with that white eraser. I learned it from someone else from the Paper Pixie, Julie DiMatteo. So that's what I've been doing. All right, so let's pick that up with our stamp positioner, just like so. Okay, and where's my ink? I know I had it here. Here it is. Oh, I should have brought my little inks, my Stampin' Spots, because they seem to work really well with the Stampin' Positioner. But I think this will be easy enough. So we'll just ink that up. And then we'll stamp it right there in the center. Have a fabulous day. And then one more thing I want to do with this is I want to do a little inking around the edges. So I will, actually, you know what? I was going to do my blending brush in the blue. But I think I'm just going to do this in the same color. Just dipping my stamped die cut piece just to give it a little bit of an edge. So just a little, not too much. Sometimes I tend to go overboard with that and then I get smudgy, but I think that's good enough. So let's close this up. We're completely done with this. Let me clean this stamp off before I stick something in it. The other thing I've done is I've cut down my, at least one of the Simply Chamois, and because it makes it easier to clean these off that way. So anyway, okay, put that away, and since I know where this goes, we're gonna put it right back over here. So there we go. Okay, ready for next time. All right, I think we're probably dry now, so I'm going to get the Forever Plaid embossing folder, bring the machine back in. I'm using my number 1 plate, my embossing folder. It really doesn't matter which way I go because it's kind of like squares, right? Okay, and then I have my number 4 specialty plate. So let's see. I have found that if you offset the number 4 plate, you don't get that big bump at the end. So that makes it so much better. All right, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I just love it. Embossing makes all the difference, right? All right, let's get this out of the way. All right, so my card base is right here. So I'll put that here like so. Okay, yeah. Okay, then we'll put some glue on this piece. Get my craft mat again. Put that right about over here. Yes. Okay, still need the glue though. See how that's popping up over there? I guess I didn't press that down. Okay. Now I want some dimensionals. I'll add some dimensionals to this piece. That's right there in the center. There, so. All right, let me put that back and then let me get my white piece. And we're gonna put this on the side or on the bottom? I'll go on the bottom because it's long enough for the bottom. Need that. I'm just going to add some glue. Nice little strip here. Oh, I still need that glue though, don't I? And we want to go this way. So my next newsletter, I will try to put some pictures from my trip to Italy, and then the following week I'll put pictures from Arizona. I still haven't posted pictures from Arizona on Facebook, so need to do that. All right, let's put this on the back. Add some glue. All right, then we'll add some pretty embellishments. We're using our earth mat dots, and my take your pick tool is right here. So let's see, what should we do? What colors? Should we do early espresso or pecan pie? I think I'm going to go with pecan pie. Put one here. And down here. And then do another one. Maybe around here. Okay. Now, where did I put the other piece? Here it is. I don't want to lose that because that's a pointy side. All right, friends. So here's our beautiful card using all those scraps we have. Isn't that amazing? I just love the way it turned out. And let me bring the other one in just to show you the difference. This one we did the embossing. This one was not. So it's a completely different look, other than one's horizontal and one is portrait. So friends, thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to leave me a comment. Tell me hi. Tell me where you're from. I love to hear and see where you're from, and I love to read your comments. It also helps me grow my channel, so please be sure to leave a comment for that as well. And if you're not a subscriber, think about joining. I share every Tuesday, and I normally do a short on Friday. I'm going to try to get back into it. That one's a little tougher, even though it's a short video, but it's tougher. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you next time. Bye-bye.